Know what
You're
I mean?
recording in your camera right now, right?
Yeah, I'm recording ready right now.
All
So,
right.
we're good. Yeah.
Oh, man. Been good.
Not a crazy weekend, but I think pretty good weekend overall. I mean, if what was the last time I saw you was Thursday, right?
Thursday. What the fuck did we do Thursday?
We
Yes.
went to
Yes.
we went
We
to the
went.
Andrew
Oh,
Yang event,
yeah.
which was like
Yes. We'll
n-
get into
uh
that.
yeah. It was nothing that I expected, but it was still fun. It was still fun, but I think I was still trying to figure out like what is this event about and what are we here for? I mean, I was
Don't
kind of
fuck
high,
around.
but
It's the Andrew Yang. Oh shit. Hold on. That's why we have the pause. I didn't even have the mic close to me. That's okay. It was only the beginning.
yeah.
Um, Put some respect in his name. It's the Andrew Yang Unplugged. It's unplugged? Or was it
Unplugged.
called? Let's look this shit up right quick. I
Oh,
hate
one
doing that.
second. Posh app. We gotta take a look at that.
Shout out to the Posh app out here in New York, helping people find shit to do for real. Oh man, I have to sign in. I have to sign in because I just got the new iPhone 17, bitch. But come on, find it.
Oh, you got the new iPhone?
Yeah, man, we got a lot
Oh
to talk
shit,
about.
dude! I was actually literally about to talk to you about the whole like upgrade thing because I know we talked about it last time. We were hanging out, but um, again, I'm like overdue for an upgrade. But again, I still have like an iPhone 14 Pro, and I think it's great. It hasn't failed me now, but I know it's a big thing for you because there is some really great features, especially if you are someone who likes to use the front-facing camera.
Yeah,
And so, yeah, dude, when did you get the phone?
I got the phone on Saturday. On Saturday, but hold on, we're going fucking all over the place.
Sorry.
What's the damn Andrew Yang event?
Hold on. I'm trying to look it up
It's
right now.
unplugged, right? Yeah, we'll get
Uh,
into that.
oh no, it's offline. That's what it was called.
Offline. Ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen, what is going on? Welcome to another episode of the podcast. Holy shit, that was the. I know we described the very first portion of the podcast to be the shibble shabble, but that was for real shibble shabble. We were like, I was thinking to myself, like, if I was a listener, I would not listen to this. This is a wildness. He's talking about Andrew Yang. He's talking about iPhone.
Yeah,
Let's
we're
get to
jumping
the
around from
Andrew
things.
Yang
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah. It was my second time going and your first time going.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to ask you for real, how did you feel about the event?
The event itself was fun. Again, meeting Andrew Yang, I think was something that's like, oh yeah, I met the guy. He's very chill, very knowledgeable, very personable. I think I was expecting it because, not that you necessarily built it for me, but I was under the impression that it was going to be more of like like a more real party event because last time it was like a dance club for you.
It
So
was. That was the
yeah,
major complaint with the people who went before myself
yeah,
and people who even heard about the event. They thought it
hmm
was a party. And I was like,
hmm
oh shit. Like I just let down my boy again. There's only
No, you
one
didn't leave
bartender
me
this
down. You
time.
did not leave me down.
Fucking
But again, leading up to it, I was saying like, okay, it's a rooftop. Okay, so there's gonna be good views, there's gonna be people talking and mingling. And so I'm thinking to
gorgeous night
myself,
though, right, Don?
gorgeous night. And they're really
Gorgeous night.
also, I mean, you had like an awesome view of like the Empire State Building.
We did
And
not have that in the
you didn't
first
have that
party.
last time. Wait, so where did you
No.
go last time? I'm just curious, because
The
again, I didn't
DL.
ask that much. The DL.
The DL rooftop in Delancey, obviously in Manhattan. What the fuck?
Hmm.
And it was a rooftop, but it was an ugly rooftop. Like this was like
Hmm.
barely a rooftop. It was more like an indoor club, and then you go outside for like smoking section. That was the rooftop.
Hmm.
But this one, holy fuck, dude, the views are incredible. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit, this is an Andrew Yang event now. Like, put some respect on his name, son. He spent money. There was security.
There wasn't security last time.
There was not security last time. It was just
Hmm.
a bouncer for like a bar. That's what it
Hmm.
was. But hey, man, we still had fun because when we exited Andrew Yang's event, presently surprised.
I wasn't sure what to expect because I'm like, all right, so the party's over, and they lead us into what is a legit, like I think, lounge slash nightclub.
That
And
was a
so,
nightclub. That was not no goddamn
yeah,
lounge. It
yeah,
was a vibe. I don't
yeah.
know.
No,
I don't even know the word for it. I was
it
just
was
so
great.
thrown off. It was a fucking Thursday, bro. It was like a rave in there. I was
Yeah,
like, oh shit.
like why wouldn't they have kept it in the rooftop? I guess. I mean, again, I'm just trying to figure out if that was like a residential area or maybe because they had like another. They've always had that lounge over there. They're like, all right, well, let's take advantage of this and just we'll literally kick everyone out and move them into this lounge area, and then at least we're also
Did
getting
they kick
business
us
and
out?
stuff.
Like, did they say, "Yo, it's time to get the fuck in"? Right?
They're just like, "Hey, we need everyone to leave," basically, or like not leave, but just like we're moving everyone down to the other floor, basically.
All right,
So
that's fine because probably that's where they had like their entertainment. That's where the rest of the guests were supposed to go. With those views, I'm sure it was expensive. They didn't want to keep it there. I should have pressed it, damn it. I should have pressed it. I should
what do
have
you
been
mean?
more aggressive. Now
Hmm.
was the time, bro. Summer is over. There's not many events left. Not that there isn't many events left, but come on, it's gonna be a little bit slower now. It was super hot during the summertime. Hold on, let me move my
Hmm.
camera because for real, it makes my forehead massive. What the fuck? My forehead was looking massive there. And that's not the
Yeah.
size of my forehead. But anyway, what the fuck did I want to say? I should have been more aggressive at the damn nightclub, bro. I should have been out
Really?
there. Yeah, man. Like, come on. Like, you already I'm trying when I go out there in the weekends.
Hmm.
It's obvious,
Yeah.
bro. Like, I'm always dressed the best that I could be. I'm gonna be smelling great. I'm gonna be whatever. I might as
Yeah.
not that I'm a fucking wallflower, bro. I still will go get it. But I play a lot of the passive game when maybe I should be playing the aggressive game. Honest to God,
Mm.
bro. I was just thinking, I don't want to talk too much about this on the podcast because if I actually say it out loud, it's gonna make me look like I'm so arrogant. It's gonna make me fucking, but it's not me, man. It's not me. It's literally what they're fucking saying to my face. They're saying shit to my face, a compliment to my face that
Mhm.
I will not repeat here because again, it's gonna make me sound like
I
arrogant
mean, I
as
wanna
fuck.
hear it. I mean, not to kind of, like, nudge you
No, man.
along. I just
Oh, man. No, 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 no. It's not even like that. It's not even anything specific like that. But I got mad people telling me that I'm gorgeous these last couple days, like straight to my face. And that's a very specific word. Not that I'm stretching it badly, but bro, people who are ugly are not going to be called gorgeous, bitch. You know what
I
I'm saying? Not when they approach me like this. You know what I'm saying? Um, but
oh, dude, you
fuck.
pulled off the look that night, dude. Seriously,
I
like,
pulled off the look, but hey, the point is, I need to be aggressive. I need to go get it. I need to be more
I was
powerful
trying
and
to figure that crowd because I feel like it was, like, a really mixed match of people. Like, again, the couple that we met, they have kids and they have, like, they're settled into their jobs, and there's a lot of young people there too, so it's like,
60%
again,
Asian.
yeah, so and
Yeah.
also, again, like, when I was, like, kinda high from, like, just taking a pull from your vape, and I was just, like, kinda
Oh
looking around, I'm
shit.
like yeah, I was, like, just looking at I was looking at some of the people mixing and mingling, and I'm like, "Okay, there's a bunch of slogans, there's a bunch of people wearing these shirts," and in my head, I'm like, "This is a marketing event." At one point, they had, like, a magician doing tricks with somebody, but
Tell me now, that shit was so fucking
it was
lit.
kinda lame, but also when you think about any type of magician, not to get into, like, super deep, but with, like, magicians, they have, like, a bunch of people working with them. Like, I think half the people that were in that circle that, we were just kind of, like,
We're
surrounding.
his fucking homies?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Whoa.
I'm telling you, it makes sense because it's like he'll approach 2 specific people, right? And for those who are, like, in that crowd, they're gonna be like, "Oh my god, it's true," right? And then
Honestly, man, he needs to fire them because they were lame as fuck. They
yeah,
did not help him at all.
that was a way for them to kind of, like, also push the product, right? Because 'Cause they're talking about, like, "Oh, look at your Wi-Fi, yada yada," and I'm like, "You guys have control." Like, again, this is, like, pure
Oh my
marketing.
god. Word, you got that out of that?
Dude,
Oh
I'm telling
shit.
you, like,
Like
so
no one wanted
because
to bust out their phones. That's so
yeah, no one wanted to bust out their
stupid.
phones, but they were able to get 2 people who I think were really on the in from here, and look, I was on, like, a different plane of thinking, like, I was already elevated. I was like, "Alright, yo, I'm starting to, like, do this whole Sherlock Holmes." If you ever watch Suits, just, like, paying attention to the details, and it's just, like, everything was kinda moving slow-mo. I'm like, "Oh my god, those 2 girls holding the light are part of this guy's team. Those 2 guys that came in are also part of his team too." So, like, I was just putting 2 and 2 together. It was, like, kind of really, like, whoa, like, I was a little high, but at the same time, I'm like, it made me hyper aware of a lot of shit. So
I did not notice that at all, bro. I was more so like, come on, because when you see the fucking magicians on Instagram, some of the
yeah,
shit that they do is actually like, wow, that's fucking amazing. Oh shit,
yeah.
right? But the tricks he was doing was straight ass. What the fuck? Like, obviously, he has some type of device that makes a thousand of like a shitty Wi-Fi, bro. Like, I'm not impressed by that. Come on, show me real fucking magic.
The purpose of that event was to pretty much promote the whole like, oh, this is noble. This is like the service that, people are to unplug from, or, to just, again, be social and also not social.
Honestly, I don't fucking care if what he was pushing. I don't even care if he was gonna go for another presidential run. All I really wanted to go there is to party.
Yeah.
Party we did the first time that I went, not so much party we did on this time. What really, really saved it was that other club happening at the same time. I don't know for a fact if Andrew Yang had anything to do with the people downstairs, the good time downstairs, right? But wasn't it also crazy to see the reporter?
Oh, yeah, the reporter, I mean, she
She's cute,
she was
right?
kinda cute too, yes. You called me literally about to say that. No, she was
Yeah.
cute, and then, like, she was, like, kinda brushing up on me, like, "Oh, what's up?" And then
Yo,
just started, like, chatting her up, and she's like, "Oh, like, I'm actually a reporter, and, like, I'm writing notes." Asked for, like, again, people's numbers if they're gonna be commenting, because she's writing it for, like, The New Yorker, pretty much,
the New
so
Yorker. I hope she chooses what I told her and puts it on her damn article. That would make my day so much. Um,
yeah,
but man,
but I also should have been a little bit more like, again, just putting myself out there, also
aggressive.
trying to be more engaging. And it's so weird when
Yeah.
you're like throwing yourself in these environments. And I feel like I can do it pretty well, but then also just trying to push it up a notch. But again, we were talking to people. It's not that we weren't at all. Just like
Of course, of course. We were very social that night.
so many different conversations going on at the same time. And so it's like, oof, trying to engage one person, engage another, and then trying to loop back to that other thing. It's a
It's
lot.
like a dance. I've noticed
It's a
that it feels like a
dance,
dance.
and trying to be better at not just simply engaging them with small talk, but also just trying to figure out, like, what they're about, like, why are they here? What pulled them into that night? I feel like I could have asked those questions, but I also was just, like, a little, like,
Looped
oh,
out. No, but
looped out.
I'm talking more specifically about getting this booty, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm really talking about. Like, I don't even know what to say about that. I'm just saying.
No, man. No, no. Look, I enjoyed that night, and again, I'm always down to like do more things like that. Just because, again, there's so many things going on in New York at any given moment, and it's nice to be comfortable at home. I certainly get tired from the week, but also I feel like I'm an ambivert in some way where there are times I feel like I like to stay at home and sleep, but then if I stay home too long or I get too locked in like the routine of like going to work, going home, making food, doing stuff for myself. I think the one thing we were talking about that I kind of latched onto is that you think about episodes of a sitcom, right? And
Mm.
like, you have these random characters who are just like one offs, show up for this one, like, one episode. And I have like a really cool arc, but then eventually they go off and you may or may not ever meet them again. And so having kinda talked to some of the people who, again, we met people from Seattle, and it was kinda cool just talking to them for a little bit, what they're about, how long they're in town for. They had a
That's what I
friend
was
from Boston.
describing to you a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
I was trying to describe, okay, if you go out and you meet someone and you have a good time and it doesn't continue the next day, right? And like whatever it is, like what was that? Like, is it even worth it? Like, what was the point of that? There's a weird sense of beauty that they were in your life for just that passing moment, just that episode, right?
Oh,
Not to
yeah.
cut you off or anything. Continue, please.
None. No, not at all. I mean, just kind of building on that point, like, as you get older, you're more concerned about trying to add people to your life and do, like, do more things, and sometimes it also shrinks. And maintain that connection, is like kind of hard. But also certain things you don't always have to try and maintain connections with. Like I feel like the social media age has made it sometimes difficult to kind of cut the cord from certain people that you shouldn't really have in your life. Not trying to say you have to cut off people, but it's like not everyone you can fit time for. I think I remember reading an article about like this person talking about like how all her exes live on in her text messages. And like you don't delete them, but they're still there. So you kind of still have this weird sense of connection with them.
She should delete them. What are you talking about? What the fuck type of shit
Oh,
is that?
yeah, I
Delete
gotta
them.
send you this. Yeah, I gotta send you that article, but it's a pretty interesting one. But yeah,
Obvious
like
they fucking
yeah, but
live in
at the
the
end of the day,
text
look,
messages.
we will always meet people, and I think it's fun to meet people. And then, like I said, if our paths cross again, sweet. And if not, it was a fun moment in time. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. It's funny that you say
But
that because recently I just went to a speed dating event with our good friend. I'm not going to say his name. And it was actually a really, really beautiful, good time.
mhm,
And I know you say, like, okay, what's the purpose of all this? And like, it gets you, they come into your life for a fleeting moment. You talk to them, outside of all that beauty, on paper, you know what you really get? You really get
what?
practice. You
Yes,
really get
absolutely.
practice. And it was at a restaurant, right? They gave you food. Everything is prepaid. You get one free drink,
Oh, okay,
right?
alright.
So you're with two girls and then two
Mhm,
guys, one of them you, right?
mhm.
And you go to three different tables that meal. And because of this, you end up meeting potentially six people. Some people went missing, which kind of sucked. I was like, some tables were like empty for. I was like, damn, that
Oh,
fucking
okay.
sucks. But
Alright.
I
Yeah.
was lucky enough to have two girls every single time,
Mhm.
and it was really really fun. My boy and I were never in the same table ever. Okay, we
Just
never
good,
got,
just
yeah,
good.
which is good. But I honestly would have wanted one of those times to be with him because it would have been fun, right? So
Okay.
in the beginning, I never really noticed how extroverted I was until that day.
Really?
Push comes to shove when you have to do something, can you do it? I can do
Mhm.
it. And
Right.
that's really, really what I ended up learning when I went to this speed dating event. I was kind of not running the conversation, but I was leading the way, right?
Okay.
One thing that I am practicing, not that I did too much, like I is not is at moments to let them speak and actually
Mm,
saying less. I've gotten good at filling in the silence, but
mhm.
when you say something like that, it's kind of like filling in the silence is a negative thing, right? It's almost, that's, it kind of gives it a negative connotation, and it does. But respecting that, knowing that talking is not just a skill of what comes out of your mouth,
Mhm.
but that also includes when you stay silent, when you're quiet.
Mm.
Why I said that in the beginning you're nervous, because I got to do it in three different pulses. The very first time I was nervous as fuck, leading the way, right? Getting
Yeah.
hot, right? Second table, I felt amazing. Like, this is easiness shit. And then the third
Yeah.
time, because you had to kind of go through the same questions ish. Some
Okay.
conversations were repetitive. When you repeat the same story, or like when somebody asks you, "Oh, do you have any siblings?" for the fucking third time, by the third time, you don't know if you already said it yet. And you kind of
Yeah.
question yourself, like, am I crazy? Like, what the fuck?
How much time did you have to speak to each group, I guess, so to
30
speak?
minutes each. 30 minutes each.
Okay, alright, wow, that's actually pretty
Yeah.
decent. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like, I feel like the last time I went on something like that, there are those I'm just like, "Ooh, I like how you look. I feel like you fit my style," and the ones that I matched with were not really the ones who I thought would be the ones I'd, like, necessarily pursue just because I didn't
You weren't
feel.
sexually attracted to them, is what you're saying.
Yes, I
There
guess,
you
like,
go.
the
Say
the
it as it is,
initial.
baby. The
Yeah,
fuck?
the initial bits, right, so, again, it was interesting, it was kinda cool. I think in the realm of, like, that speed dating, I wasn't too keen on it, and neither did my friend match with anyone that she thought was, like, someone she'd want to, like, kinda talk with, right? It was fun. I think it gave me context, especially on trying to how to, like, shorten up your dilly-dally time to talking to people and being able to engage and communicate with them, but it was also kinda loud, so it's like versus where you had the opportunity to sit down and chat with people that you really, wanna engage and have the time to kind of, like, get into that nitty-gritty. The room is so loud, everyone's got their own conversations going on at the same time, and, like, by the end of it, you could loop back to any one of the groups that you like, or either the groups or the people that you were interested in, but by that time, half the people already funneled out because they were just kinda over it also, and then it's like, you know, did you build up enough rapport with number 1 or number 2? And then would they remember you by time of number 3 for you to kinda go back to them and be like, "Hey, yeah, let's continue that conversation," right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
thing. I was
Yeah,
really,
but
really into my second,
which
into
is
my
great.
second
Yeah,
table.
which
Yeah.
again, I think for your like, the way that yours got structured, I think works really well. For the one that I went to with my friend, it wasn't like that. So, I think the vast majority of people, again, they're just like, "Yo, I gotta catch this train, back to such and such, so I gotta dip." And we're, like, in Flatiron, basically, so
Regardless of that or any other reason, I think
yeah,
if
yeah,
you
yeah.
really, really like somebody, like, they will find you.
Yeah.
One thing is that, like, that does kind of, it is completely different if you're only going to meet three women, right? what do I want to say about it? I think it was really good place to get your feet wet because you're gonna end up meeting girls that like. I guess I'm gonna categorize this kind of stupidly, but you're gonna get like punk rock chicks or like emo chicks ish,
Yeah.
right? Are you gonna get pretty girls like girly girls, right? In my head, I was like, I wouldn't initially find you as somebody that I would go for, or not just attractive, but like I would be interested in. But after
Right.
getting to know you, like you're
Oh,
great.
yeah,
You're a
I
good
mean,
person. You know
again,
what I mean?
like, it's nice when especially it's not necessarily what you I guess, first impressions wise, you would have, like, seen yourself talking to, but as you kinda get to know somebody, you're like, "Oh, kinda a little different, but I kinda like that, and I feel a little drawn to that." So, yeah, that's kind of the beauty of these type of things where you kind of move past simply the first impression, and as you build a connection with someone, naturally, first impressions are one thing, but then I think the whole chunk of a person can't really just be put on like that first impression, you know what I mean?
Mm.
So, yeah. I
It's
mean, hey,
good.
dude, I'm glad you had a good
You
time.
need to go to the next
Shit.
one. You really, really need to go to the next one because I have a feeling that you would find a lot of people they're very pretty, and
Hmm,
they were,
okay.
they were. I'm telling you. So I don't know. Cheers, baby.
Yeah. You went on Saturday, right?
Yeah, I went on Saturday, and after that, I went to go pick up the iPhone.
Yeah, so what time on the Saturday did you go?
In
Daytime?
the daytime, which kind of sucked because I was like, bro, you gotta
Ooh,
go there the
interesting. Yeah,
nighttime.
yeah.
The nighttime one is like a completely different vibe. Everyone already had plans. I know it's more of like a food thing. It's also half there to promote the restaurant. It's nice to really get your practice in conversation for sure.
That's cool. I'm glad you had fun that day, dude. Yeah. What time you pick up the iPhone?
I picked up the iPhone around like 5. For someone who wasn't originally intending to upgrade and actually trying to go through like pre-order, it was significantly easier than anything that you would think would be a bitch to do, like like the PlayStation 4. It's harder
Yeah.
to get a Pop Mart Labubu than it is to go get an iPhone. Yeah, man. So I got it. I picked it up. I got the color that I wanted, right?
Mhm.
In person, it's a little lighter than I wanted it to be. Is
Okay.
it still my favorite color out of all of them? Yes. As someone who went from having the iPhone 12 mini or slim or whatever the fuck that's called
Yeah.
and having a larger phone, I am getting used to it. I
Uh-huh.
love the real estate. I'll tell you that I love the real estate. The speakers are amazing. They sound awesome. For somebody who went
Really?
from an iPhone 12, okay?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
take that into
yeah.
consideration. The speakers are incredible. Did I buy it for the camera? No, because I would have gotten the Pro if I needed the camera. I got my front facing camera like I wanted, but I still haven't used it. Come on now. It's been 2 nights already. I have not used the front facing camera what I wanted. Hell yeah, bro. Come on now.
Nah,
Don't
dude.
oh
Well,
shit. Hold
I
up.
think between you and me, I think the 12 oh, no, sorry, 12. The 17 standard is more or less what 90% people need. Like, there's even I, who likes to have, like, the nicest camera, am still just trying to come to grips with the whole, like, notch side in the back. Again, I have yet to hold it, so I can't really give as much, I can't have a really valued opinion on it because I have yet to really, like, physically touch the phone in hand, you know?
Aren't you gonna
But
get it?
yeah, I've been considering it still. I still think I'm on the fence just because, like, again, my phone's still good, but, like I said, I have to hold it in my hand and kind of envision it and be like, "Alright, let's, like, move onward towards, like, the next iteration," but
I'm
it'd be cool
excited
because
to
then
learn how to use this button, this extra button that came on the 16. Like,
Mhm. Well, they use that, I think, just for the ability to take photos, so it feels like an actual camera, right?
yeah, that's fine. But as a utility, like a button, an extra button
Yeah.
there to turn on my camera quicker. I always had,
Mhm.
I always found that there was a problem that like when you press that button, I want to press that button without looking at it, but I have to unlock it. So I have to look at it. So it's like, why give me that button then? You know what I
Oh,
mean?
so it has
Like if
no
I'm not looking at it,
functionality.
yeah, and I
Mhm.
press this button, it opened, but like, did it open because I'm looking at it? I guess it opened. I don't know. It unlocked itself. I don't know what the fuck. I'm really creeped out and weirded out about always on display. That
Oh,
is
dude. Oh,
weird
right,
as
you don't
fuck.
have that because, like, I've had that for mine, like,
Yeah, you
since
probably been had that.
I think for me, I noticed that my battery life isn't as good, but your trade-off is that's a bigger battery on your phone. So, like, versus what you had before with the mini, you should get better battery life, but maybe less because also it's got better display, so it might bleed more energy. I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, dude, I'm glad you have like a new phone. It's awesome.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. I love it. It just it's weird because it's like, has it improved my life in any bit? No.
too early to tell.
Did I really, really need to upgrade? No. I just felt compelled to have it, you know?
Yeah.
And I hear awesome, amazing things about the iPhone 17 Air, the one that people predicted to be the worst one. I heard that actually the best one after it came out. I'm like, damn.
Because it's super thin and super light. I felt
I,
let me take
I
a
don't know
look
if
at
it's
this
just because of
iPhone
that, but like they're saying it's
phone.
actually like more durable than the Pro, and then the Pro is actually the shittiest one to get. Like its new aluminum body is
Aluminum.
fucking is bad. I don't know what the
See
hell.
that so now that you understand why I'm, like, kinda skeptical about the Pro, it's like, I feel like it's just a weird
I would get
size
the Air.
altogether.
I would honestly get the Air, even though it's like camera less degraded. I don't know,
It's
man.
one
Just
camera.
look into it one more time. Look into it one more time because for real, they say amazing things
Oh, it has
about
4
the
lenses in
iPhone
your
Air.
pocket. All new camera system.
What? 4 lenses? I got one camera.
We'll see. I mean, when I get to, I guess, T-Mobile, I'll be like, "Alright, hold all the different phones and see how I feel
Yeah.
about it." I mean, again, it's just a different design and be like versus this single notch here, it's, like, completely over here, so we'll see, man. We'll see.
It has now come to the time
Mhm.
of the show, the question of the week. Ask Don. All right. Are you ready, Don?
Yes, I'm ready.
You're ready. All right. Don
Yeah.
and Gabe, my partner used to say I love you all the time in the first few months we were dating. That's fucking kind of early. Okay. Anyway, good morning
Okay.
texts, calls before bed, random little moments during the day. Lately, though, less and less. Days go by without them saying it first. And sometimes I feel like I'm the only one keeping that energy alive. They still act loving in other ways, hugs, thoughtful gestures, checking in, but the words don't come out like they used to. I can't tell if I'm overthinking this or if it's a sign that the spark is fading. Is this just how relationships evolve, or is it something I should be worried about? I
Hmm.
have an opinion on this, but you should go first, Don.
Alright, so the honeymoon phase is, already waned, right? If you would. I think you guys are settling into just your daily or just like the routine of things, right? Especially when you first started off, it's just like a lot of like, love coming out and everything. I mean, it sounds like the affection's still there. I want to say that I think you're thinking about it too much. And I get it because especially when you're kind of like used to like, a routine, especially when someone like talks to you and breaks you out of like one routine into another, and then that routine kind of like changes up a bit, so it makes you a little conscious about it. You don't always have to tell someone that you love them to know that you're loved, right? If you keep on saying it all the time, I think it loses its value.
That's why John Mayer says not to say it so early. You remember
Yeah,
that music? He's like, y'all say I love you
yeah.
too early. You can't say anything else after that.
Like I said, if you keep on saying it all the time, then I feel like you're also trying to compensate for certain things, and I'm not trying to even say that's the case in your case, right? Don't think about it too much. I think this person, again, if they're still affectionate, they care about you. Maybe they're also doing a lot of things. I mean, I don't know if your partner is just getting busier at work, or they're just they're again assured, they're certain about your relationship, and they're just also they got other things going on in their mind. So just again, if it does bother you, maybe just check in and see what's going on, but you don't have to say things all the time to remind or to lock in that love. And I think also I mean, just depends on your way at looking at love, right? Like your gestures of love or your acts of service, if you would. Like what you define as like love for you. Is it acts of service? It's like just messages. I mean, and for certain relationships, if you feel like that's something that you need, I guess that validation or that reassurance, then I guess talk it out with that person. I mean, that's just like my thoughts, but what do you think, Gabe?
Mm, I some things I agree with, some things I don't, and
All
I'm
right, yeah,
excited.
shoot it
Not that
with
I'm
me. I'm curious.
excited. Not that I'm excited, but I like that we're not always agreeing on things. Yes, is he overthinking it? Absolutely. We agree on
Yeah.
this. I'm assuming it's a guy, okay? Is it signs that spark is fading? Well, kinda, obviously, okay, if it's not what it used to be, but is it the end of the world? No, it's really,
No.
really not.
Yeah.
Relationships have their seasons. Obviously, you start off hot and things get hotter, but then after that honeymoon fades away, it gets a little colder. I would not agree though in the part of if it's bothering you, you should go bring it up to them.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things that I agree with. Okay, like if it's a thing, you should go talk about it. Yes, if it's a thing, you should go talk about it. And maybe this may be male toxicity coming out. And I kind of did want to talk about that a little bit after because I had to take a masculine toxicity test after. But we'll go on that later.
Okay.
But this thing that men need self assurance all the time, it's one thing to understand that you need that. I get it. You should not seek that out.
Right.
There should be some type of goodness in the faith that you have in this relationship and not
Yeah.
having to be reassured all the time. Not to, oh man, because like when you actually bring it up to your girl, now it's going to be a thing now. Now the thing that you
Yeah.
didn't
Well,
think
that's
that
the
was going
thing
to be a problem
also.
could
Like,
potentially be a problem.
yeah.
And then it may give her the ick. You just have to feel it out for yourself. I think that I want to get my thought perfect on this because this may sound a little bit wacky, but I think that in a world of like therapy and talking about problems and communicating, I don't think this is one of those times in which you want to do that for whatever that means. That's it. Let's not get into
Well,
that.
no, no. So I guess trying to like, I guess what I get from what you're saying, Gabe, and I agree with this. If this is what you're saying, right? Pick and choose your fights. This is not something that I think is
Yes.
a fight for, right? It again, if it really, really eats at you, then sure. But it's like I don't think at any point you must return back to that because it's like, oh my God, if we don't maintain that high or like maintain that type of assurance, then it's gonna fail. If you believe it's gonna fail, then yeah, like you have to have trust in the relationship. So if you believe it's gonna fail, then again, this is not even like a major thing. And like either you're gonna face bigger problems in life. And so this is not something that I feel like is again worth a fight over, you know. And that's why said, like, if you do want to check in with them, cool. But again, like, you I think as a person, and when I think about like my own way about like my own failures in like previous relationships, right? Is that I felt that my younger self wanted this validation and this constant reassurance and like maintaining this certain level of energy and always expecting that, right? But then all of a sudden, if I didn't get it for a brief moment, it became kind of like a drug, And so it's like I needed that, I needed that, and then all of a sudden, then I'd start thinking about it too much, and all of a sudden now like I'm starting a fight, I'm reacting to things. And you have to be certain about your lane. Be confident in yourself. Be confident in like what you're doing. Like you're not doing anything fucked up. You're not messing around. And I'm talking about this as myself. It's just more of like you as a person have to always be constantly moving. This person ideally should be moving forward with you. And you guys will adapt to these changes. But again, you're gonna come through points in life where it will be tough. You're not gonna always get the assurance that you want. And sometimes in certain relationships, they'll be there, but they can't be always like there to help you through those situations. They can just be there as a support, but they can't help you through it every time. If you're gonna always grasp for this motion of like love and again repeating it so often, like that's why I said I feel like you would lose the value in it and the meaning of it. And I'd rather have someone like say it to me not all the time, but I just know that when they do these acts, it's that impactful, that meaningful. Right? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know if that's yeah, you know.
Like, I'm
Uh,
just trying to say that I think women find it sexy when a guy doesn't need assurance all the time, right?
absolutely.
Like,
Yeah.
do you need the good morning texts all the time? The calls before bed? I think there's some type of thing that, like, when a guy has faith in the relationship already, he doesn't need the insurance. And I think women find that very attractive.
Yeah.
That's all I'm
And
saying.
and also just again, you have your other things you need to focus on. Like, as you're part of this relationship and doing your own thing, you're bringing things to that relationship. So just stay focused in your lane while also building it together with her. But you don't need that constant reassurance. So my
Bro,
moral of the
maybe
story is,
fucking go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, pick your fights. And I agree with Gabe on this one. If I guess as a amendment to the thought is, I don't think this is something worth fighting for, or at least it's not a fight that's like, it doesn't even seem egregious. Like I said, I just think that you might be past the honeymoon phase.
Bro, maybe your fucking girlfriend's not saying I love you because you're whack. Maybe. Maybe, bro. Maybe it has nothing to do. Maybe you're absolutely correct. And she doesn't give you the good morning text because you're whack. You make her feel like shit. Like, come on now. Don't worry about her not saying it. Worry about
Oh
why
yeah,
she's
yeah.
not saying it. Like, come on now. Earn that shit.
Gabe, you were saying though that you took a male toxicity test.
Yes, I took a hold on. Let me bust it out because one of my homeboys sent me a text message to sent the guys group a text message and see if I can even find that on my new iPhone. Lord have mercy.
Yeah,
Um,
the new.
the new. Yeah, toxic masculinity. I was saying masculine toxicity. Toxic masculinity. Yeah. Um, it's one of those cases. Whoever sent this question, thank you, number one, for always allowing us to dissect your problems and having faith in us to give you decent answers. My boy sent me a toxic masculinity test, and it reminded me of that because I always try to question things inquisitively for maybe as a waste of time, but like when you say the word toxic masculinity, you almost know that it's a negative thing in which you are going to be tested on. So when the test is from 1 to 100 and you get a 43, right, which is like on the lower end of toxic masculinity, you kind of don't are you, all I'm saying is that the word is a little bit, it makes you think that it's a negative thing when it's just a trait. Okay? That trait or the lack of that trait doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. The complete lack of that trait doesn't necessarily mean it's a good thing. I think there's some relationships that will benefit from their men being more masculine and would be considered almost in the toxic masculinity section, but it not really being as negative as it is. You know what I'm trying to say when I say that?
Yeah.
It's like I almost think that you could damage your relationship way more if you had a zero on that toxic masculinity trait. You know what I mean? On the toxic masculinity test is what I'm saying. If you're completely open and not toxically masculine, right? That would actually hurt your relationship more than actually being a little bit toxic masculinity. That's what I'm saying. Is that crazy?
I'm just trying to make sense of it, at least from what I gather, because it's like
I
it
can
almost
ghettoify
seems
it
that
for you.
no, it's like for at 0%, you're like you basically sound like the most perfect individual, right? And
Not the most perfect individual, but you're a bitch. A little bit.
yeah,
You
you
know,
need to, but it's like you don't stand for anything, right?
you
And
don't
it's
stand for
like,
anything.
you know, and you don't have standards, and so because every
Not
person
that you
should
are
have
a bitch if you don't have toxic
right,
traits.
but it's like if
Okay.
everyone should have standards, right? So if you just simply acquiesce to certain things or it's not something that you would like engage or fight on, then I feel like at some point there's no drive in you. Like you're just so agreeable, you know. I guess the way that I seem to perceive what you're telling me, Gabe, is that like I guess masculinity is measured by a whole series of things, right? And deemably by some empirical value, it's deemed toxic, right? But I think at the end of the day, we're men, and men have these traits, whether it's good or bad. These are just part of how we are intrinsically. So by having a zero on that score, you're kind of just not a guy. You're just kind of like
If you had to take a
whatever.
test, if you had
Yeah.
to take a test where you're graded in toxic masculinity from 0 to 100, and then you score a zero, you have no toxic masculinity, I don't think that's a good thing.
I could see that. I agree with you. Like, again, you can't completely be without like flaws and standing for certain things. That's why I also feel like it'd be very. I'm trying to figure out how someone would get a perfect score of 0, on that test.
The
You
same
know what I mean?
way the same way that having 100%, that's not something to be good in either.
Yeah, yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? It
Well,
doesn't
look,
necessarily mean just because we're rating toxic masculinity from 1 to 100, it doesn't necessarily mean that the lower it is, the good it is. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, I guess in my way of looking at things, like I personally don't think, you have to be either of any of the extremes. Any of the extremes would seem a little
Yes.
much and problematic because there just seems to be no willingness to understand the other side here, right? And so with that whole said, like I think 40% is pretty good. Yeah, I think it's good, Gabe.
43% is good. 43% is good. I pat myself on the back for toxic
43%.
masculinity.
Shit,
43%.
I kind
My
of want to
homeboy
think.
got an 11. My other homeboy got a
Ooh.
13 or 18. And I was like, in my head, I was like, what?
Can I ask you something that's so like that this could
What?
possibly be foul? Are they like in relationships?
Oh my God, no.
There you
That
go.
is
There's your
so,
answer.
that was a beautiful
S-
one, Don.
Sorry, I hate to be foul about that, but it's like again, you have to have like some form of standards here, right? And so,
Wait. Hold on, hold on. They know it. They probably listen to this shit. 13,
uh,
having 13, 11, and 18 is not a bad thing. I'm not saying that either. We're
I'm not
not saying that
say
either.
that either. I'm just saying that there's some like the fucked up part is that whether or not that I'm not even saying it's a bad thing, but I will say there's a correlation to it.
Hey man, I'm 43. I'm 43 on this test, and I'm single too. So yeah,
Look, I'm curious if anyone
we're in the
who's
same
taken
boat.
this yeah, anyone who's scored higher or maybe just a little more than you are in relationships. Because again, I think these are statistics that, again, you're just simply trying to get an understanding of, but where's the relevance ultimately when it comes down to that discourse, right? But, I mean, again, not to shoot a shot there, right? But it's
Boom.
like, ooh, like, "Shit, I wanna take this test. Damn, I wonder where I'd rank at."
Bro,
Well,
bro,
I
bro,
guess that
hold
might
on.
be a conversation,
It's
you
not
know
that it's not that long. We can talk about it next time. It's not
Yeah,
that
yeah,
long, but like I'll send it to you after this. Yeah, I have a
yeah.
mixed bag masculinity. You hold some traditional views but are open to change. I am open to change. I'm a very
Yeah,
understanding person, but I'm also
yeah.
very a person who will stand on his own shit.
I want all the
Okay?
married people to take this test and see what their percentages are.
Yeah. Based on 25 scored questions out of the 36 questions. It's 36 questions, I guess. But I did it while
Hmm.
I was at work. Doo-doo-doo. Oh
It's
man.
like the ENFP or I like, the Myers-Briggs test pretty much, So, but yeah, man, no, like, I guess you could always try to find a reason why for these things. But look, I think they're fun. They're kind of like your horoscopes. And I hope all these things kind of give you insight to who you are, but don't let it ever dictate your actions. Don't think too much about certain things and just be you, be happy. Again, there's no reason for you to feel like weird about who you are or where you rank. And kind of looping back to also the conversation about, whoever sent us that question. Don't think too much. Like just live, just be
Stop being
happy.
a bitch for real.
Yeah, man, just be happy and just do your thing and just focus on your lane. Look, we're all growing and we're all consistently changing and be ready and adaptable to all the changes. So, anyway, guys, thank you again for tuning to this episode of the Dual Cast.
If you listen to the whole thing, we have mad love for you.
Just keep on sending in those questions, and we look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode. Peace.